Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that's not often discussed. How do you build community and make friends in Boulder? Well, I've lived in Boulder for over 30 years and have seen many changes in the city and the patterns in which people make friends. I'm also a licensed real estate agent in the state of Colorado, so let me know if you have any questions about moving here. Now, moving to Boulder is exciting. Many of you probably moved here for a job, but apart from starting a new job, there's so much else that it takes to feel at home, especially in a place like Boulder. This video is for all ages because I'll address what I've noticed works for the different ages groups when they move here. But before I begin, I'd like to talk about Boulder's vibe. This place is different in the best possible way. Outdoor activities are basically a lifestyle here, like sunset hikes and running groups are everywhere, and it's every age group. Believe it or not, dogs are a great way to meet people. It seems that everyone, and I mean everyone, has a dog here. Walking your dog is a great way to meet people. I don't have a dog, but the number of times I've had friends tell me about the people they've met due to walking their dog is high. Also, Boulder is dog friendly and has a lot of dog parks, so that's really good news. Now, in most part, the neighborhoods are friendly, and yeah, there's this thing people call the Boulder bubble, which basically, Boulder is a little world of its own. It's 10 miles surrounded by reality. So you probably want to know how to break into the bubble. So let's get going. And the best way to meet people in Boulder is to join a group. The Newcomers group is a very active group that is great for couples, singles, working people, and retirees. They schedule all kinds of different activities to cater to everyone. I know of a couple that about 10 years later said that to this day their best friends are the ones that they have met at Newcomers. So that says something. Now, another option is to join meetup groups. Look them up online and you'll find lots of outdoor activity groups. I've noticed that meetup hiking clubs are really good for the millennials and Gen Z. They're probably the best way for that age group to make friends from what I've noticed. Now, for rock climbers, the gyms are a great way to meet people. And with El Dorado Park south of Boulder being one of the best places to climb in the country, it's a good place where you could find your people. And don't worry if you're not a pro climber. I once met someone who came just to hang out and ended up scaling a wall 2 months later. And from what I've heard, it is a tight-knit group. Biking here is also big. So if that's your thing, there's the women's biking group called Venus. It's a group of beginner and intermediate cyclists, and they have several rides weekly and do a big trip at the end of the summer. I have to confess that I joined this group this year, but never did a ride with them. I know that during every ride they'll stop off for coffee, and it's a great way to socialize. I'm not too sure, but I think the age group is mainly 40 and over, but like I said, I'm not too sure about that. And for seniors, there's the Seniors on Bikes, which my husband participates in. For runners, there's also many groups to choose from, like the Boulder Runners Club being one of the major ones, and even the running store Runner Roost has a scheduled run on Wednesdays. Now, the rec centers are another great way to meet people of all ages. What's great is that you sign up for these classes and meet once or twice a week, so it gives you a continuity. Now, if pickleball is your thing, the rec centers are where a lot of the pickleball groups take place. I know I've played several times, and the groups vary in terms of competitiveness and ability, but generally they really are quite friendly. Now, I know this might sound surprising, but owning a home here can really help you feel more connected. When you own a home, you're more likely to get involved. There's just something about knowing you'll be here for the long haul that makes you want to engage with your neighbors. There are also great resources for first-time buyers, so you could check out Boulder County's down payment assistance programs and the Boulder Permanently Affordable Homes program. And as I mentioned, I am a local real estate agent, so let me know if you have any questions. I also have some lenders' contact info that I can pass on to you. Now let's talk neighborhoods. Different neighborhoods have different vibes. It depends what you're looking for. In general, downtown Boulder has a younger crowd mixed in with retirees looking basically for the conveniences of the closeness to restaurants and shops. Then there's North Boulder, and that's great if you're into art, community spaces, and trails right outside your door. Then there's Table Mesa, which is more family friendly with neighborhood meetups and block parties. Also, there's many neighborhoods in Boulder that have active HOAs and that organize social events. I've seen ages strike up friendships at neighborhood block parties. I know I've organized many through the years. Here again, coffee shops and co-working spaces like Trident Booksellers or the Rayback Collective are other good ways to meet people. Now, volunteering is also a great way to meet people and do some good along the way. It's a great way to connect, but from what I've noticed, to be honest, I've seen people connect, but really no long-term friendships from what I've noticed has formed from them. And it's mainly people in their 40s and up that are volunteering, or families with young kids. I do have to say that Boulder, from what I've read, is one of the most volunteer-friendly cities in the US, so that says something. Okay, if you've moved before, you know that it's not always smooth sailing when you get to a new city, and the Boulder bubble can feel intimidating at first. It's totally normal to feel lonely or overwhelmed. The key is to keep showing up, whether that's to hiking, running, meetups, or whatever kind of meetup interests you, community events, or even just your local coffee shop. So whether it's through outdoor activities, volunteering, or even buying a home, Boulder offers tons of ways to connect and make this place feel like home. If you are thinking about moving to Boulder, drop a comment below with your questions. I'd love to help. And hey, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'd like to help you build a life in Boulder and maybe even find the perfect home. Thanks again for joining me.